YouTube, what's happening? It's your guy, not the average trucker, coming to you on a rainy Tuesday. I'm out here at a dock in, the hell am I at? Fieldale, Virginia, I believe, something like that. Like 150 miles, 140 miles from Charlotte. Out here picking up a load of clothes, t-shirts, sweatshirts, to take back to Charlotte to some outlet, very fine VF outlet, something like that. Anyway, man, I just wanted to drop a video. I was bored today working, and I sat there and watched that whole Made by Google live stream. You know, I'm a trucker, but I'm a nerd too sometimes, man. I like electronics, man, phones and tablets and laptops and things. Matter of fact, the videos I record whenever I'm in my truck, I'm recording on my phone, which is a Pixel 2 XL. Hands down, one of the best cameras on a phone that I've ever had. I had the Pixel 2, I had the first Pixel. Also had the OnePlus 6. Only used that for like a month, and that camera was so whack, I ain't had no choice but to sell that. Because it's like once you use a Pixel, man, you get used to that camera. It's hard to go back to using a camera that's not as good, I never was into Samsung and all that because I hate that software. Just too much bloatware, man. You could disable a lot of it, but it's still annoying. Not to mention they are very, very slow with updates. And I never was an iPhone dude, man. Like, I had the very first iPhone way back in, was that like 2007, 6 or 7? And I'm just not into that whole ecosystem, man. I think iPhones are for people that just don't know better. They getting phones just to feel like they belong in a clique or a group. But they're not really getting the best features, bang for, buck for buck. Not to mention, iPhones don't do nothing but steal from Android anyway. I just never was an iPhone dude, man. Matter of fact, I hate seeing males, as in people born with a penis. I hate seeing dudes using iPhones. I think iPhones are girl phones. So you see a grown man walking around with an iPhone, I always think you got a little sugar in your tank, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I watched that video about the all these new Google devices. Because in my house, I have like 7 of the Google Home speakers. I got a lot of cameras and mess. I got a smart house, man, I guess you could say. So I see they coming out with a thing now called a smart hub. That's basically a speaker with a screen. It's basically a tablet. I don't really know if I'm interested in that. Price is alright though. It's only $150. But I don't know. That's kind of annoying maybe. You asking, hey Google, what's the score in the game? And they show you a highlight of the game. I don't know. I just don't know how much I would use it. It'd probably sit in the kitchen. And I'm never really, I'm not really in the kitchen that often. Maybe my wife would use it. Then they had like a Pixelbook. That's like their high-end laptop. I bought a bunch of Chromebooks over the years because they're cheap. Matter of fact, I keep a Chromebook, in the car, in my work truck, so I can, knock some paperwork out or whatever, booking other loads from other trucks or whatever I need to do, handle some business that I can't necessarily do quickly on the phone. I keep a Chromebook, but I've never been into the Pixel books, man. They're a little more expensive, a lot more expensive than your average Chromebook. And if I'm gonna spend, $700 to $1,000 on a computer, it's gonna be, a PC. You know what I mean? And then they came, they announced that Pixel 3. There's been several leaks of this Pixel 3 for the last few months. You know, you have people in Russia that got their hands on that and was selling it, you know, in the black market months and months and months ago. And I was hoping that was bootleg. I was hoping it was fake. I was hoping it wasn't true. I don't really bother, you know, the notch situation don't really bother me because, like I say, I had a OnePlus 6 that had a notch. And, you know, it don't bother you. You can turn it off or on anyway, but I don't really see what the big deal is. It's just that this Pixel 3, other than the camera, and they claim the speakers are like 40% louder, but it don't really seem like an upgrade. You know what I mean? It seems like something they could have just pushed out software-wise, and my current Pixel 2 would do the Pixel 2 XL would do the same thing. But I do like that they had this feature coming out where if you get a phone call, you can let your Google Assistant answer it instead of you, and then it'll transcribe what they're saying like on the screen. So it's like you being a business owner, I get a lot of solicitation calls. You know, I have an office line that they're supposed to call, but somehow or some way it never fails. My actual cell phone number gets out there, so I start getting solicitation calls from brokers. Hey man, do you have a truck in the area? You know, we got this load. I get solicitation calls from, like, I might have bought something from some business before, and my main way of contacting them at that time might have been with my cell phone. So instead of saving my business line, they save my cell phone. So I get solicitation calls of people trying to sell me fax machines, all types of silly mess. So this new feature on the Google Pixel 3 would allow the assistant to answer your call and pretty much ask the person that's calling you what the nature of your phone call. You know, what do you want? What do you want with me? And I think that's dope. You know what I mean? So, you know, by default, man, a lot of the times, man, if it's a number that I don't recognize or a number that's not saved in my phone or flat out just a person I don't want to talk to, I don't answer the phone. You know what I mean? But it is kind of cool because there's situations, you know, my daughter's off in college, so she could be calling me from some random number because she's in trouble or, you know, needs my help. Or, you know, my wife, she only works part-time, but she's a nurse, and sometimes, you know, she calls me from some weird work number whenever she is at work. And a lot of times I avoid them calls, but with this assistant, I can get the assistant to answer. And if it's a person you don't want to talk to, you can still tell the assistant to end the call, you know. I think that's kind of dope. I mean, I had to see how it actually functions in real world usage, but I think that's kind of dope, man. You know, I'm anxious to give it a try. You know, like I say, the phone itself was a letdown, but I'm a nerd, man. I get the Pixel every year. Prior to phones having big screens like the Pixel XL, I used to buy all the Nexus lines every year. And I used to buy the Samsung Notes every year just for the screen size. Like, I hated the features of Samsung because they're annoying, but I love the screen size. And at the time, the only way you can get a screen that was, you know, over 5.5 inches was to get a Note. But now every freaking provider, every phone maker now makes phones that are all big as hell. So I've never had to use. I think the last Note I had was maybe the Note 5 or something a long time ago. And then, you know, the Nexus 6P came out, and that was big as hell, and that was perfect for me, screen size. And then every Nexus or Google device after that has had some size to it, so I never had a reason to go back to the Note, because I wasn't a dude that used the S Pen and all that anyway. I mean, that was a gimmick. Yeah, don't get me wrong, sometimes I would get PDFs, you know, or rate agreements or whatever I needed to sign. It was cool to kind of use the pen, but then you can still use your finger and do the, you know, it's not as precise as the pen, but gets the job done. So that pen was a waste for me. But yeah, like I say, man, this video was just my thoughts on that Made by Google event. I was mad as hell because, like I said, I was streaming it from my phone. It was like an hour long, but the first 45 minutes they talking about devices I don't even care about. Like, they opened up talking about the Google Assistant, you know, the Google Home Hub or whatever that is, and then they start talking about the freaking Pixelbook. I don't give a crap about neither one of them. Like, they should have. I mean, I get it. they'd opened it up talking about the phone first, they probably would have lost a lot of streamers after they discussed the phone. So, I mean, I get it, but it was annoying. But anyway, man, it's your guy, Not the Average Trucker. I do talk about more things than simply trucking, you understand? I'm into electronics. I got a whole lot of crap at the house, and I order stuff all the time. I mean, I could start doing unboxing videos, you know what I mean? But I talk about more than trucking, man. So I'm big in electronics. You all see that I always got on either Panthers or Hornets gear, man. I'm big on sports too, man. So maybe I'll start posting things of that nature, man, more than just trucking. But it's your guy, Not the Average Trucker. Like, subscribe, share. Hit me up on Twitter. The link is in the description somewhere. Hit me up on Instagram, Trucker Not the Average. All y'all be easy.